Alright YouTubers, time on the big blue beautiful marble to show you another full campground tour. This is Sleeping Giant Provincial Park. It should get its name also from the giant size of the campground. But look down to the left hand corner and you can see just how far Sleeping Giant Mountain is from the campground. It was a heck of a bike ride and a heck of a hike, but I hope you enjoy this look and really check this campground out if you get a chance. It's awesome.
We'll do a complete tour of the campground. Well, mostly complete probably.
Now I try to do my best to make these stable, but when you're riding a bike in these huge campgrounds, it gets a little jiggly.
Dump station on the left.
Especially when speeding up to make it watchable. First piece of advice, if you come here, bring a bike, because anywhere on this campground is a long way.
Is that a dog or a wolf or a fox? I think that's a fox.
I apologize because GoPro doesn't do well at distance, so I got this zoomed in as far as I could. You can sort of see the fox running in the road up there before it jumps into the woods. I stopped and looked at it for a while, but I didn't get it on camera. It looked back at me a few times, but continued to run along the road until it finally bolted into the woods pretty soon here.
Damn car scared it off. We were looking at each other. I should probably have a stick in my hand. I don't see it anywhere. I'm sure it's close enough that it sees me though. Cool. Damn car scared it off. And I got air in these tires now. I can feel it.
So this Circle of Lake Superior trip has taken me to a lot of campgrounds, and it's a real close one between this and Nays as my favorite campgrounds in Canada, in Ontario. It's a huge campground, as you can see. So again, as it being this huge, there's a lot of loops, and actually it's easy to get lost in this place. I didn't do it, but I could see people getting lost. To say this is one of my favorite provincial parks is taking nothing away from the other ones in Ontario, because all their parks are amazing. They're huge, they're clean, great facilities. You should really check out Canada.
Marie Louise Lake. Pretty sweet spot, huh? Alright, we'll see now.
Alright, because this video is so long, I'm going to throw in some music here because I just can't keep restating how huge the campground is and how great it is. Here's some music.
She didn't give me this because these are premium. Alright, we'll go back to the beach. I think this is the way to the beach. I'll be swimming tomorrow.
Actually a really nice beach and swimming area. Sorry, sometimes when you go uphill you gotta throw the bike side to side.
Sleeping Giant. All these sites have their own little stairs down to the lake. Sleeping Giant. Check that out. These look like a bunch of tent sites. Visitor center, I'll show you another video. People today, earlier at Rainbow Falls, and I'd seen them at Maze. You haven't gone far, have you? Walk right by me. Alright, maybe I'll keep going. Can't hang out with this deer forever.
If you want to see more of that deer, it showed up at my campsite at dinner time. I think it was the previous video I posted, I'm not sure. But they are very tame and very, this is my place kind of thing. So this was my campsite, and like the other ones, it's just massive.
Alright, let's go check out Louise Drive.
As I've said in my other campground reviews, again, I like to give a complete campground review, not just a couple pictures. I figure if somebody's watching this that might actually want to go to a place, I think it's nice to have an idea of just what the campground looks like. And I have no complaints whatsoever about any of the provincial parks in Canada. If I got a stretch for a complaint, I guess the only one is they're all so huge. They're just massive. So they make getting around a chore, and if you want to post a video like this, it ends up being forever long.
You have to check the map. This might be, goes around the whole lake. I'm not sure. Really not going much further. Like that's far enough. I had a long day. My legs are tired. That was more than Yosemite Day. I felt that more.
Okay, for the remaining YouTubers that I didn't bore to death, which I'm sure happened because this campsite is just amazing. It's just so huge. If you get an opportunity, go to Sleeping Giant Provincial Park. I don't think there's possible not to have a great time. There's swimming to do there. There's biking and hiking. There's Sleeping Giant itself to climb that, walk it, and do stuff. It's not that far from Thunder Bay, and then it's probably only 2.5 hours, if I'm remembering right, from Sleeping Giant Provincial Park to the Minnesota line. So it's not that far. And again, I've said before, these are my first experience with Canadian provincial parks, and they put American ones to shame. This road is actually like cuts across the park from the lake towards the entrance. I will say again, as this is my last one, probably my favorite, this and Nays, they were very far from the road. My first two provincial parks, Pancake Bay and Lake Superior Provincial Park, were actually pretty close to Highway 17, the Trans-Canadian Highway. So if you got one of the back row campsites, I would suspect you had a lot of noise. I was further in towards lakes on both of those, so I didn't have any noise there, and I didn't have any noise at Rainbow Falls. But you're going to get no road noise at this campground. And again, I am just so impressed with Canadian provincial parks. And when we get back to my campsite here in a second, you'll see that it was just massive. And when I first got in there, I was the only one on this loop. I felt like I was camping alone. Have a great and wonderful day.